Welcome back. We're on part three, and we're going to end off this episode with some superstar scores. Rob Van Dam. If you guys have followed Smark Out Moment for a long while, you should know full well by now that I do not like Rob Van Dam. I think he is one of, if not the most overrated people in WWE history. So many people that I know will be like, it'd be so cool if RVD came back and all that. And I'm like, I don't fucking want it at all. And yeah, I'll
Yeah,
give them credit when they announced that he was going to be returning at Money in the Bank. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Because for the fans, that should be awesome. But for me, it's about the same as when Rey Mysterio is going to return. And they'll be like, Rey Mysterio's back. Everybody should fucking blow a load. And I'll be like, oh my God, I get to see 10 attempts at the fucking 619 in a match. And that's it. And I'm fucking bored already. Like, I think that he's overrated. I think that he's got value, but it doesn't extend anywhere near what everybody else thinks. So keep that in mind when we go over this. If you're unfamiliar with the way that Superstar Scores works and you haven't seen the one for HBK, for Mick Foley, or for Bob Holly, otherwise known as the Bob Core episode, which was fucking great. Um, this is how it works. We have a 0 to 100 scale broken down in 10 categories, which they themselves are broken up into 5 umbrella sections of 2 categories apiece. Those 5 big categories are in the ring, on the mic, appearance, backstage, and crowd reaction. So we're going to go section by section. I'm going to say what my ratings were and get everybody else's opinions too. So let's start off with the 2 of the ring skills. First up is athleticism. Does the person have a good finisher move set? Do they botch a lot? Are they entertaining just in the ring itself, or do they get winded? That kind of stuff. I gave RVD a 6. Uh, he can do some good stuff, but it's bland as hell after that, and I get bored seeing the same couple moves. What do you guys think?
well, everybody kind of uses the general same arsenal in terms of like their signature moves. RBD doesn't really generate too far from that. I mean, I would say his athleticism was probably an 8 for me. I mean, I was a pretty big fan of him when I was a lot younger, and I still think some of the stuff he did in ECW and even in WWE was impressive. That maybe not so much now, but in his prime, I would say he definitely did some really good innovative stuff. Yeah, I'd easily give him an 8 out of
I'll
10.
tell you, you're not the only Rob Van Dam hater here. But if I had to give him one compliment, he is a very athletic guy. The guy is able to leap great distances. He's able to leap up to great heights. I'd have to give him. I don't know if I would go an 8, but I'll give him a 7 on that.
I'll match you, Tony, with a 6, just due to the fact that I've seen his recent work in TNA, and it wasn't as great as he usually does. He was very winded. He would always like follow up with the same 2 moves. He could still pull off the majority of his moves, but he just seemed very slow and sluggish. I can't tell about his new run with the WWE. Apparently, he's leaned up and he's gotten a lot healthier, so that may help him. But I'll give him a rating as a 6.
Davis and Brandon?
I'm going to go and give him a 5 for 5-star frog splash. And I'm out.
What do you think, Brandon? Did we lose Brandon?
I think he's fallen asleep. Probably.
Brandon gives him a 0 by default. There you go. RVD puts Brandon to sleep. That speaks volumes. Psychology is next up. The ability to tell the story in the ring. Do they make you think that it's real, or do they do what Cena does a lot, which they get their ass kicked, and then right when they win the match, suddenly everything's fine? I gave him a 4. I said he's more of a spot monkey, and I would hate to see him wrestle an Iron Man match. Usually, for the most part, I tend to rate people on the psychology factor of whether or not I would want to see them in a long match, because you need that. the same with the athleticism. You need that to kind of keep it interesting, and a 3-minute RVD match is more than fine in my mind. So I gave him a 4.
I think for the description you're giving him, you're being awfully generous with your score. I mean, I would give him a 2, going with the same description you had. The guy, I can't recall, other than the one night stand match with John Cena, I don't think there's ever been an RVD match where I felt like I was at the edge of my seat during it.
It's a good point. I think I am actually. You bring up a good point. I think I am being a little bit lenient here. So maybe I'll downgrade him after everybody kind of convinces me that I'm.
Well, on top of that, I think he helped sell the punt pretty good. That was telling a story, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was gone for years. It was amazing.
So that's at least one story he told. But for the most part, it was not a general part of his stick. It was split leg moonsault, big high spot. You see, I mean, his offense is pretty similar to Kofi Kingston in a way. But you think Kingston tells a better story than Van Damme ever did?
He beat
Kingston's
Randy Orton in that match, didn't he?
Kofi Kingston has, other than Daniel Bryan, has the best hot tag in the business.
Yeah. So at least there's that. But yeah,
Kofi's leaps and bounds. No pun intended.
I don't know. I think I think he's a 4. I think I have to agree with Tony's score here. I think it's lenient, but at least he entertained me as a kid, and I didn't really understand the psychological aspect then. So at least I can kind of say, yeah, well, you entertained me, but yeah, I could see where you guys are all coming from. This is the only major story I can remember him telling. Was selling the punt kick that took him. Well, took him as Peyton said, took him off TV for 6 years, but not in TNA.
Maybe that's what happened with TNA on episode 85. Orton punted them. Erhan, what do you think?
I have to disagree with you guys on this, and there's a reason being. In the Alliance story, he managed to sell that. In terms of psychology, his psychology is rather simplistic. It's sort of, which guy am I going to give a frog splash to, or is he going to win this match? He had a very good match against HBK when he was World Heavyweight Champion. He told some great stories in ECW when they reimagined that in the WWE. So he has done some really impressive. He's been a part of some really impressive stories, but in terms of his storytelling, he's not as good at emoting as, say, for instance, and I hate to even say this, guys like Cena, or he ain't as good talking on the mic as guys like Punk. But he can get a match over in the ring because you can believe that this guy is an underdog. And when he gets to a position, you can believe that this guy is, the face chasing the heel champion. He's very believable at what he does. So I'm going to go one up and give him a 5 just based on that. And he has had success in that. Not in TNA, of course, but in the WWE, he's had a lot of success doing that. And again, time will tell when he comes back, because from what I saw before, he was pretty lazy in regards to his push in the previous company.
Dace, what do you think?
I like the one promo he cut when he had both the WWE and ECW championship, and he goes, "Hey, I'm keeping this one because it spins." So I'm going to give him a 5 for 5-star frog splash.
Brandon, did we still?
Sorry, I literally fell asleep. I am like out of my gourd right now. What are we doing?
Psychology. What do you think?
On Van Damme, RVD's ring psychology.
Yeah, you know what? Never was the best part of his game, so I would just put him at the average, 5.
All right, we're gonna move on to Mike's skills here. Charisma. Maybe I'm being generous with this too, but as far as cutting a promo without stuttering and all that, I figured maybe a 3. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. He doesn't really cut promos. He's kind of just stoned. And,
I was going to say, he's high all the time. He's just like, what's up, man?
He always shrugs a lot during his promos, and it pisses me off.
He shrugs a lot in his pictures, too.
He does.
studio
But
shots
what a
of himself.
Fucking read a goddamn book, Rob Van Dam. Jesus.
But yeah, it's always like I remember the program with Kane when the unmasking happened there, and he blamed Van Dam for everything. And Van Dam's just like, you don't need that mask, man. You don't need to hide your face. And it's like he always talked like that all the time. I think he still talks like that.
Yeah, he still does.
He's just that I guess I would say if it was a character that'd be fine, but he's just legitimately stoned all the time. And he talks like it. Yeah, sure, 3. Why not? I mean, if it was a character, maybe different, but that's just Van Damme. That's just how he talks.
Yeah, the research that I did for this was to watch his promo for One Night Stand, which apparently was like an epic promo according to
that is
YouTube
not the
thing.
best promo to watch.
And I was just sitting there going like, if this is like his best promo that he's like, trying his hardest, and this is as good as it gets, he can't get even a 4 from me. Dace.
When it comes to promos, the man on the mic, Shrug, is awesome because, brother, Shrug, I'll tell you that some of his greatest promos, Shrug, was done against Sabu, Shrug, in ECW, Shrug. So I'm going to have to go and give him a 5 for the 5-star Frog Splash. Dace Manel.
All right, so we officially did lose Brandon here because he has just, all the shrugs got to him. And
Shrug.
so obviously throw a plug out there for Brandon later on. But we blame you, RVD. Damn it.
He had a shrug and he couldn't shrug no more.
Character is the next thing up on the mic skills, and I kind of just figured maybe I'd give him a 3 again because all he really does is point to himself.
This freaking gimmick sucks. Like, really?
No,
A ripoff of Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No, I give him a
still
5.
all the way till 2013. He hasn't done anything to change his character. The guy still has this stupid freaking ponytail. He wears these airbrushed leotards that everyone makes fun of Ryback for, but Rob Van Dam, no, it's cool. These things look stupid. He gets them from a flea market.
Just say how you
I
really
detect hostility.
You do not. I take it you don't like him very much.
No, I'm giving a 1. The only reason I'm giving a 1 because 0 has to be reserved for things like the Shockmaster.
Shockmaster's a 10. What are you talking about?
I'm giving him a 5 for consistency for acting like a stoner all the time. I mean, he was the Cheech and Chong of wrestling, and he wasn't even really trying to be. But my God, did he ever stay consistent? That's his character. That's the only character I got from him was that he was a dude who's baked all the time. Middle of the road, man. Middle of the road, man.
I've got to agree with Brandon on this one. It's literally the guy has no character, he has no understanding. Yeah, and his promos would put anybody to sleep. That's probably why he actually lost the title. It wasn't because of the fact that he had a DUI.
Well, come on, that had to play a big part in it. The law usually does.
Well, it was mostly the fact that he put Vince to sleep. As far as I'm concerned, in terms of mic skills, I'm going to go for 1s, both ends. He lacked charisma, he lacked character, and as Payton said, he's done nothing new. You've had the best superstars, are guys like on the level of, say, CM Punk, for instance, who can switch it up rather easily. If you turn Van Damme heel, he'll be doing the same bloody thing.
I'm feeling awkward here because I am giving him higher ratings than I thought I was being like, I'm being a little too hard on the guy. I'll bump him up an extra point.
I gave him a higher rating than you. I gave him a 5.
Yeah, but I mean,
middle of the road.
Burhan and Payton are really making me think that I should have just gone with my initial gut.
So to show your real hatred for him, because I'm probably the only person who doesn't hate him in this actual
conference.
Brandon.
I want to make it clear right now, I don't hate Rob Van Dam. He was a very good wrestler in terms of the Alliance. He was very good at what he did. He got that over, and he deserved his one run with the WWE Championship. But to give him another run with the title would be stupid, especially
and they're not going to.
Where there were guys, I would say 90% of the WWE's roster are leaps and bounds over Rob Van Dam.
Well, Dace, what do you think about character?
Well, when it comes to character, my friend, we're looking at the whole effing show. I mean, he's a Paul Heyman guy, the original Paul Heyman guy, and quite frankly, he's Rob Van damn. And for those of you that are listening to the podcast, yes, I am moving my hands when I'm saying his name. And quite frankly, I'm going to give him a 5 for the 5-star.
Case, I can tell you right now, when you were saying his name like that, I was doing it with you. Every one of them. I mean, were you trying to be him? You just got to sound a little more high, but that sounded like one of his promos, like when he's asked about something backstage.
Yeah, that was perfect.
What's going to happen here?
You didn't shrug enough, though.
Yeah, you just forgot the shrugs.
Damn is going to go out there and steal the show because he's the
no,
show.
Okay, there you go. I was going to say he steals the whole effing show.
Steals the whole effing show because he's Rob Van Dam. That's every promo. I swear. Is it not? Dave just
hey,
said
I was doing that. I did his promo. I moved my head to the side so my ponytail would swing a little bit like he did. Smiled at the camera. Shrugged. Did the RVD hand. Come on. Vince McMahon did my signature taunt. Come on. If he's doing it, that guy obviously makes great business.
Stephanie McMahon did it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's how lame it is now.
Oh.
That was like having your mum do something.
Dude.
My mum, copied one of the characters on PlayStation or something like that. Ugh.
No, but
Oh, man.
dude, I'm Rob Van Dam.
He did say his name like that.
The
All the time.
whole effing show.
Every
When I
backstage
deliver the
interview.
5
All right, appearance is next.
Oh yeah.
Physique is the first thing up here. Kind of on a scale between like a Mabel and a John Morrison a little bit. I'm second guessing this too. I gave him an 8, which really I shouldn't have, because I gave him an 8 for the factor of he's kept basically the same ring shape after all these years. But I don't think I gave an 8 to Bob Holly. And if I didn't give an 8 to Bob Holly, then RVD doesn't deserve one.
Bob Holly's in way better shape than Rob Van
Right,
Dam.
exactly.
Didn't you give him a pretty high score though, Bob Holly? I
think I might have given him an 8, which if I did, RVD doesn't deserve an 8, and I got to go back and change that. If I gave him a 9, then you know what, RVD, fuck this. You're not getting an 8. You're getting a 6.
That's exactly what I gave him, a 6. He was very well in shape. You know, he didn't have any flab on him at any point in his career, I don't think. But he didn't have like a huge bulky physique either that you're like, damn, look at that guy's pythons or anything like that.
Now, to an extent, he didn't need to be because he wasn't a brawler or anything like that. But maybe it's actually the singlet that takes it away from me. Usually when people have that, it kind of doesn't show it off as much. So.
Unless you're Ryback, where you're clearly shredded right behind that fucking thing. So.
Yeah. You know what? I'll bump him up a tiny bit more. I'll give him a 6.5, maybe a 7.
Well, we could do halves.
Not really, but
I'd give him a 7 easily.
The thing is, with
First WWE run, I didn't watch any of his TNA run, so.
Nobody did.
In TNA, he wasn't in that great shape. He wasn't in the shape that he should have been in.
He's better shape than Hardy.
He was rather lean. He looked the part. He could do certain things physically. He had very strong legs, and he had a very good toned physique. In TNA, he kind of let himself go a little bit more. Again, you can tell by the look how sluggish he was. When he had his top off, he had no abdominals there. It was more just. It was kind of just maintaining a normal physique. He's looked a lot better, so I'm going to give him a 5.
Dace?
Well, brother, when it comes to Rob Van Dam, I'm in the gym every damn day. And I'm telling you, brother, I'm doing leg lifts. I'm jumping on a trampoline. I am Rob Van Dam. The whole effing show. And I'm going to give me a 5-star frog splash, brother.
All right, entrance. We have, obviously their music, the pyro, the taunts that they do, that kind of stuff. Which some people go, you know what, they don't have control over that. But who cares? This is about everything. Pyro, not that special. One of a kind, pretty good song. But his TNA one, so fucking awful that it almost renders the whole Superstar scores a 0 because that is the stupidest fucking song.
Rob Van Dam!
And there was a
Show!
there's a good chance that might be
Rob
an
Van Dam!
outro coming up soon. So, when you compare to other people though, because not everybody has an entrance like the Undertaker. If you're really fair and you factor in one of a kind and having pyro to begin with, and
Crowd reaction for the most part.
kind of more so that opening note of one of a kind, which does well, I'd give him a 5.
It's because
That's fair.
it's a take on his old song, basically. That's why that's there. In terms of who Rob Van Dam is and the song, I think One of a Kind was a far better song than Run Terminator.
There's no question about it. You can't even have a discussion about it. The fucking song was so awful. Whoever
Van Dam.
did that should have been fired from TNA, because as bad as TNA is, that's still one of the worst things that's ever been in TNA.
That's on a whole. If there's TNA bad, then there's that bad.
Mm-hmm.
There was
So
room
that's
to
saying
do a
something.
Carlito one, Carlito. That's not cool.
That's what they should do. They should do an album that has that for every single person.
AJ Styles.
Get the Styles Clash.
Triple H is going to win this match.
Kurt Angle. Gold medal. It's awful.
America. Sorry, I busted in wrong.
It would be Dusty Rhodes.
Fat as fuck.
Somebody get my bicycle.
But yeah, no. In terms of music, his WWE stuff eclipses TNA stuff. But again, I'm going by, because I've seen him in both organizations. I'm going by what he looked like the last time I saw him in the music. I'm rating that, and then this is just me being as nice as I can be on the situation, but I'm rating him a 2 because it's TNA music and everything. They tried to gloss it over with colourful pictures on this video, but it was just no.
There's no trying to make that theme sound better, so I don't know why they even tried.
Why did they ever put that out there to begin with? Why didn't somebody listen to that the first time and go, all right, well, tell me the real thing?
Because you have Rob Van Dam probably sitting there going, I like it.
Rob Van Dam's like, dude, this is awesome. Shrug.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about
What do you think
this.
about it, Rob?
He shrugs.
You know what I like about this? I like the whole effing song.
Let me tell you, this is a song about Rob Van Dam. The whole effing show.
Maybe that's why he would have liked it, because it's as bland as his promos.
He probably did that. He probably did the yelling for it. Just changed the voice around a little bit, so you never know.
He doesn't have that much inflection in his voice when he's talking about.
That is true.
Let's move on here. We've got Backstage. Wait, did everybody give their entrance?
Yeah,
scores?
I didn't, but
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I could tell you, I would have been middle of the road if it was just his WWE. I mean, it's nothing great. It's pretty boring. He comes out. He's got the pyro that's arranged in that little box type thing. I guess that's kind of cool. The theme music was very fitting for him. I don't think it's a great song particularly, but it was very fitting for him. But then, he just comes out. He runs around. He bounces in place a little bit. He does the Rob Van Dam. It's pretty dumb. But then that TNA theme.
Oh boy!
Holy shit! What's that?
Do go off on it. We all gave our opinions on it. You might as well do it here now.
Honestly, what can I say you guys haven't? I mean, it's just fucking terrible. Like you said, when someone sat down and they played it, like, how could someone? How many people did that have to get past to be allowed? And how did it?
Yes.
Like, okay, I would have to imagine. Let's run down the people who would have to okay this: Dixie Carter, Hulk Hogan, Rob Van Dam, maybe. Who else would have this?
Bischoff.
Bischoff. Who's their producer guy? Who's their Kevin Dunn equivalent? Would that be Bischoff, I guess?
Maybe.
Okay, so let's just say those 4 guys. Who the fuck okayed this? Rob Van Dam I can understand. Okay, he's a stupid stoner. How could Dixie Carter listen to this and be like, yeah, that's so great. They go over great.
Dixie Carter's a monster.
Kids love this.
That's
Plus, you got to figure.
Hulk could be like, oh, this is the type of song I would have brought in if I played bass in Metallica, brother.
Plus, you got to imagine the guy who actually composes the music not only thought that this would have been good, but that there wasn't a better option.
Dude, he half-assed everything. I remember with the Aces and Eights, he produced a nice little like bit of music for them, and then decided to add lyrics.
No, I know how this happened. They were trying to find a theme for him, and Rob's like, no, man, I got this. Check this out. My friend Jeff's band did this.
Well, this is also the same people who did the music for the main event Mafia. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh God,
dun,
it is.
Yeah. And that's
That was
literally the only lyric. And then
with that fucking what the hell instrument is it playing in the background? It's like a harpsichord or something like that, and it's like, bing, 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 bing. Like it's fucking ear grating.
Yeah. So anyway, that knocked him down to a 1 for me. I mean, nothing special, and then just completely ruined in the latter part of his career. I mean, and you know what? You can't hate on TNA because Christian went into TNA and he still had awesome music and an awesome entrance.
Christian's theme song was beast, even though it was an Evanescence song with no lyrics, but it was awesome.
It was a great remix mashup of his WWE theme before he came back, and his TNA theme, which
is the WWE lyrics of the TNA instrumental. Basically, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was his real theme. That'd probably be his best name he ever had. If he was allowed to use that.
Dace, what do you think?
Well, man, let me tell you. 5-star frog splash. Come on. It's Rob Van Dam. The whole effing show. It's my promo caught on tape.
Backstage is next up. Professionalism. Are they a locker room leader? Do they cause problems backstage? Are they bogged down in politics? Do they screw people over, or do they put them over and all that? I gave them a 5, but I think I'm going to bump them down a little bit more. It kind of depends on how you guys sort of take this and the next one.
I'm giving him a 3.
See, I split this up with this, and it balances out to a 4 because I gave him. I'm going to jump ahead here for the marketability category. That has the public relations problems. Are they somebody who promotes the company? Do they do charities and talk shows and all that? I gave him a 3 for that one because of the fact that he constantly talks about marijuana and he's gotten the arrest problems and all that other kind of stuff. So it was a 5 and a 3, balancing out to basically a 4 for backstage stuff. Because really, I mean, from what I've heard, he's not somebody who gets into fights, it seems.
No, but I mean,
No. Go ahead.
He doesn't really quit with his extracurricular activities and put them behind if he needs to commit to his job.
Mm-hmm. That's the main thing here, because he does. He's not like a Triple H kind of thing where it's just like, why is he not putting anybody over ever or anything like that? I haven't really heard any stories about fights backstage or politics or everything. I don't know about you guys, but
no. But his problem is that he's never been a company guy. As you said, he was never the kind of person that would take part in those Make-A-Wish Foundation type events. He's not the kind of guy that you can send to a stock meeting or a press event.
And Peyton, I can even add on that. This is coming from the same guy who basically flipped shit when he was told that he was going to Iraq. I don't know if any of you heard that interview done by him. You know about that, Burhan? So
yeah. He went totally ape shit on the whole. So he's like, I want a choice that if I wanted to go there or not. I didn't have to be forced to go on there. He shat on the company after that, but I'll go further into that when it goes to my turn.
See, I didn't hear about this story.
Yeah. So
what happened? He didn't want to. Was it because he didn't support the war, or was it because?
Did well, it wasn't rather recent. It was after he was released. He did a commentary interview, like a shoot thing, and he talked about the WWE and said that he was forced by Vince because he didn't want to go. And he's like, well, I don't want to go all the way to Iraq. I'm the champion. I want to be standing here like defending the belt on house shows and doing it like on TV tapings and stuff. I want a choice if I want to go to Iraq or not. It's not like the other guys who could choose if they wanted to go, and they were saying it was mandatory that I had to be there, and I didn't want to go, so I said no. And then they got angry with me about it, and ended up trying to bury me because of it. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is not for you. This whole thing wasn't for you or for the fact that you're that's governed by your contract. It wasn't mandatory, and I understand that, And the thing is, a lot of the wrestlers who've talked about this said it wasn't mandatory, but it would have been a good idea to go because you're doing something for the troops. You're doing something in good faith, but he refused outright to do it. And he said that the WWE shouldn't have gotten angry with him over it. But you're being a bloody bitch, basically. You're being a diva over the situation. Of course they're going to get annoyed.
So when it comes to professionalism and marketability, because we kind of just merged these two together while talking
Both
about
threes.
this. Both
Easily.
threes?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, speaking from a guy who watched Scooby-Doo as a kid and noticed that Shaggy and everybody were a bunch of stoners anyway, the thing is, marketability, he was selling toys, he was selling merch, like T-shirts and bits and pieces anyway, so you can say he is a marketable person. In terms of backstage, not getting an ego, there haven't been any rumored issues in regards to him. But the shit that he did after he left the company, and it was having a complete and utter bitch fest about how the WWE mistreated them, how he's an advocate for marijuana and everything. Yeah, that's fine, but if you've got a policy in place that says, look, if you smoke this thing, we're gonna fine you. If you get caught driving with a freaking bong in the car, red-handed with a bag of weed in the car, your bong, and you're speeding like a fucking idiot, bringing attention to yourself, you're going to get done for it. So no matter how much he kicked up a shit or how much he complained about it and sat there cutting his crappy promos going, I'm Rob, you can't bitch about a company like that. In terms of their practices, they had to do the right thing. You're in a position where you're the top guy and the spotlight's on you. So, he fucked himself over. So in a sense with that, and also in a sense of how he thinks he's the biggest star in the world, with the whole TNA fucking interview. Did you read the interview that he called himself and Jeff Hardy rock stars and that they're bigger than the whole roster? I'll put him down.
I'm sure he didn't mean Street Fighter star.
No, I'll put him down as a 3.
Super Piss Fighter? Shout out to Geek Speak. Peyton, what do you think?
We're on marketability now?
Yeah, we're merging the two.
Yeah, marketability and professionalism.
I already did my piece on professionalism, but as far as marketability, of course not. Look at the guy. I mean, like, that's like putting me as a representative of a company. I run my own business, and I don't want to be the face of it. I know that's not the best thing for it. The guy looks like he barely ever shaves. I don't think I've ever seen him have a fully clean-shaven face. He's still rocking a ponytail. I will harp on that until he cuts the damn thing. The guy still has this damn ponytail.
This ponytail's like the bane of his superstar scores for you.
Oh,
it's like,
my
look,
God.
I'd give him an 80 out of 100 if he shaved
Who
a
rocked the
fucking
ponytail better, Jean-Claude Van Damme or Rob Van Damme?
Even Jean-Claude Van Damme has cut his hair by now.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say with Payton. Jean-Claude Van Damme has actually cut his hair now,
Even Jean-Claude Van Damme has realized that Jean-Claude Van Damme wasn't that cool.
Rob
Van Damme just can't let it go.
He had to call himself that because he probably thought he looked a little bit like Jean now, didn't he? That's probably why he created that ring name.
That is exactly why he created the character.
What character?
He created the name.
Yeah, the name. Because, I mean, all it is Rob Van Dam. Every promo ever.
But yeah, for marketability, I'll give him a 3, I guess. Because maybe you could use him to promote, like, I don't know, Chef Boyardee.
I don't know why I can completely see that, though. That's the thing. I can completely see RVD sitting down in, like, a tour bus eating raviolios.
The whole effing can.
Come on, I can see him eating, and he's doing the whole. Even though one hand is occupied with the spoon and eating, he's still got the other one going with the thumb.
He's pointing to himself eating.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awful.
We're gonna get the piss out of for this.
Boy, RD. god. So what score would you give him, Dace?
Well, man, what I would do, Rob Van Dam style, is promote those big foam thumbs. Rob Van Dam. And I'd eat Chef Boyardee because I like 3 syllables. My name is Rob Van Dam. I get a 5 and 5 for a double 5-star frog splash. Whole effing 5.
The whole effing hand.
And a
Crowd-
hand has 5 fingers.
Exactly. The crowd reaction is the last thing up here. Popularity and credibility. First up, popularity. As much as I completely fucking disagree, if you're going by boos and boos for heel, cheers for babyface, merchandise, Twitter followers, that kind of nonsense. For some fucking reason, RVD is popular. As I put on the website, he'd never win a popularity contest when it comes to a lot of other people. I mean, you give one of your favorite superstars to, and RVD is not going to be number 1. But I'd give him an 8 based off of how people do tend to give a shit whenever he's around. I don't know why. I'll never be one of those people. But, can't be too biased on it and give him my own popularity score, which would be much, much lower.
But considering his run from WWE when he got in all the way to when he left, I would say he was consistently always over. I don't remember the crowd ever really turning on him at any point in his career. As far as the live crowds go and how much merchandise he actually sold, I would actually go as far as to give him the best score I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him a 10 here just for how popular he remained throughout his entire WWE tenure. And the fanfare he's going to receive when he comes back. I don't count the TNA run.
Burhan?
In terms of crowd reaction, he still gets a big pop, and he was quite popular in TNA, I have to admit, even with the crappy song. In terms of the way that he was in the WWE, everyone followed him everywhere, so I would give him an 8.
Peyton?
I mean, I can't deny that the guy is very, very popular. I mean, when you saw the return video for him at that pay-per-view we just had, freaking Payback, people were chanting RVD all the way through other matches. So I cannot deny that. Not popular with me. One thing I have to say, I think the reason why the guy has managed to catch on so much when he came into WWE and hold that fire for so long is he's really the only representation of ECW that's come in and been accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Paul Heyman aside, but Tommy Dreamer ended up just getting fat and didn't do anything. Sabu never really caught on the way like that. I think they expected him to be kind of like a new Mick Foley. It never went that way. Sandman was already too old by the time he came in. Then there was really nobody else. I mean, with Roadkill, Big
Balls
Blue
Mahoney.
Meanie, really, yeah.
I mean, Rhino to an
Sandman was
extent.
entertaining.
Yeah, Sandman's entertaining before he gets to the ring. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like, if you could have Sandman come out and do that, and then he just tag somebody else in to actually wrestle, then it would work.
So I'm gonna give him a 7. I mean, he's far from like a Shawn Michaels. I wouldn't even say he's a Chris Jericho. He's very big among the Smarks, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the Smarks. There's casuals that like him too. But yeah, that, like I said, the whole ECW thing.
Dace?
I'm going to give him a 1.
So this isn't a 5-star moment for Rob Van Dam, Dace?
No, he's just a 1.
Last but not least, credibility. If the person is seen as a jobber or a legend, main eventer type of person and all that, I went with a 7. I'm kind of leaning more towards going by a 6 now, though.
Yeah, I
He
give him a 6 too.
He is overrated, but at the same time, if he were to win a championship, like I keep saying, I think that the way that they might be going. Now, of course, I thought they were going to have one Money in the Bank match too, but what I think that they might be doing with this whole thing is having RVD win Money in the Bank, cash in on John Cena the same night as Money in the Bank, and retain the title against John Cena at SummerSlam. If they do go that route, people I don't think would be complaining about him being the champion, other than like myself and Peyton and everything. But he's done enough that they can give him a main event spot, if not just as like the challenger, and it doesn't seem odd. It's not like if Trent Beretta would have suddenly become the Intercontinental Champion. It would have been like, what the fuck? This guy's not even on TV. Like, so 6 or 7, I can't really decide yet. Kind of depends. So Braden, you were going to 6?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just a little over middle of the road. I think it's a more than fair enough score for Rob Van Dam in terms of, well, like legendary or popular status. He's not a legend, but you certainly can't deny his fanfare.
Mm-hmm. Brian?
Again, I think I'm going to end up going for... I'm going to have to go for an 8. And the reason being, people love him. He's a very decorated champion. And in the end, he's won more titles than most upper-tier guys. He's won more championships than... in different companies than say someone like Hogan. Hogan's obviously won more WWE titles, but he has more championships in other organizations: ECW, WWE, TNA.
Rob Van Dam won the TV title in ECW, and that's it. He never won the world title there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, he did in the WWE's defunct version.
How the hell did he not win that? By the way. He was like their main fucking guy.
A booking situation, and then he ended up not being able to pay Rob Van Dam the money that he owed him. Hence the reason why Rob Van Dam was kept off TV until he was actually come to terms on giving him the money that he needed to get him back on television. And by that time, it was too little, too late. But yeah, in terms of his career, he's had a very decorated career. He's won the WWE Hardcore Championship and Continental title. He literally unified the European and Hardcore Championships with the IC belt. He held the belt when it mattered. He had some amazing feuds with Eddie Guerrero, to say the least. Guys like Chris Benoit as well. So Rob Van Dam has had a rather stellar career in terms of what he's done. He's done a lot with the little that he has. So yeah, that's what I'm going with, and I'm gonna probably go with the same score of a 7, Tony.
Peyton?
I'm gonna go with a 6, and just above average, slightly above average. That's the best I can give the guy.
Dace?
Well, man, when it comes to Rob Van Dam, I'm going to give me a 5 or a 5-star frog splash. Anybody else want some tacos?
Hell yeah.
Damn it, now I
Right,
fucking want
man.
tacos. I've been wanting Chef Boyardee since you mentioned that.
I got the munchies, man. 5-star munchies.
So, funny enough, when I first started this, RVD had a score of 52 out of 100, which was 1 point above Bob Holly. Right now, after talking things over, giving it a second glance, and really being more honest with myself, he went down to a 45. So he officially is the first, including Bob Holly, the first person out of the Superstar scores to get a negative side of the score instead. He's in the red now instead of in the green. So fuck you, RVD, I guess. It shows how excited we're gonna be for his return, and
Stuff.
The problem is it's
I'm
too little,
thrilled.
too late.
I'm thrilled.
I don't think it's too little, too late. I think it's too little constantly.
It's not going to be a long run. Don't worry. He's on the the twilight of his career. I don't think there's really anything big in store for Rob Van Dam in this WWE return. Some extra money before he retires. That's about it.
All right. Any last thoughts, anyone, for Superstar scores? Rob Van Dam?
4 out of 10.
Overall, 4 out of 10.
He's
I
Rob
Van
Da-
Dam.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say that my overall score for Mr. Rob Van Dam, 37. Take that. Nice and low for you.
So I don't know what person we're gonna end up doing next. I mean,
Buff Bagwell.
we've got Buff Bagwell in the lineup. We've got Scott
Yes.
Steiner in the lineup. We also have some good people in the lineup like Undertaker.
Zack Ryder.
And yeah, we could do a Zack Ryder one. We could do Max Moon was suggested.
Wish to Conan. Orderly.
So I mean, there are some options out there, and currently we don't have a set special feature for next week. I was trying to think of something that could go with the Money in the Bank thing, but until then, no, I don't really know.
Biggest boobs in wrestling?
What was that?
Biggest boobs in wrestling?
What, a top rope list?
Yeah.
Why would that be in Money in the Bank related?
Yokozuna.
Fatu. So I don't know, if you
Daddy.
guys can think of some kind of money thing, maybe a top rope list, maybe a belt or bury. Actually, yeah, I'd probably go with a belt or bury because Money in the Bank's dealing with a whole bunch of belt stuff. So
And
Try
potentially
to think
people
of
who could get buried. So
yeah, try to think of a belt or bury that we could go with.
Ryback.
Maybe Ryback, maybe somebody like a Ted DiBiase Jr. who like
God.
who doesn't have a whole lot going on from him right now.
Have we
I
done
don't-
Zack Ryder yet?
For belt or bury?
Yeah.
No,
No.
I think the only
let's-
one we've done so far is did we
it's
do
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
Let's-
Cody Rhodes.
Let's get the Zack Ryder shit to bed, all right? Let's just talk about why he needs to be gone. Hopefully, maybe we tend to have this thing where we affect people's careers. I noticed, like we completely resurrected the career of Hardcore Holly, so maybe we could get Zack Ryder finally fired, and just so he could stop making a big deal.
You know Dace is in this conversation, right? Broke his heart.
the hell's going on over there in Oklahoma?
He may take time to recover from that.
I'm going on mute.
So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on what you would like to see, we also have nothing scheduled for the night after, or not the night after, the edition after the review one on July 26th. Right now it's looking like August 2nd might be the live edition, which you can catch on Mega Powers Radio, of course.
Woo!
Or we might end up kind of moving that to the August 9th. It kind of all depends. But so we've got Money in the Bank coming up, obviously predictions, and the mailbag on the 12th. So make sure you guys send me in mail questions. We got one earlier from Josh, best in the world. So we're going to be answering that 2 weeks from now. But yeah. So if you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like to see next week on the specialty and the week after the review of Money in the Bank, send them our way and we'll get around to it. That will end us off for Superstar Scores, Rob Van Dam. And that means the only thing left to do is to do the... So, first off, with the Thurman Sparky plugs, we have the Sign Me Up initiative. If you bring a Smark Out Moment sign to any kind of wrestling event of any kind, send me a picture or a video of it, and I will put it up on the site and give you many, many thanks, and rate you a 100 on Superstar Scores. I'll backtrack later on and go through the rest of the stuff, but before I do that, I'm going to throw it to Braden.
Okay, you can, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/spoonbeast. If you don't know what the content it provides, you haven't been listening too closely to these plugs that we've been handing out each and every week, so I can let you just take a gander and see for yourself. You can also, of course, follow me on Twitter at spoonbeast, and on my YouTube channel, there's all my links to social media since, well, I pretty much use the same username for everything, even here on Skype if you want to add me there. Yeah, there's one of them. Of course, you can also continue, being subscribed to the channel, Smark Out Moment, for each and every episode of Smack Talk. Tell your friends, so they can tell their friends, so that everybody can continue watching this wrestling podcast or YouTube show, because we all love contributing to it, and we need people listening. So do keep sharing it with everybody you know. We need more people to listen to it. It's awesome.
Burhan.
www.nerdgenius.com, youtube.com/the Nerd Genius. Next week, I am going to be starting. It was going to be a week, but now it's going to be 2 weeks. I'm starting the aptly named Bill Murray Fortnight, where I'll be reviewing every Bill Murray movie that's been suggested my way, and also doing a playthrough on Twitch TV of the game Ghostbusters. So if you guys want to check that out, then you can do so. And also support me on fanboysanonymous.com, where I do reviews and bits and pieces on there. And also I Got Gameplay, which is a part of Mega Powers Radio. The show's at 8 p.m., which is when we go live on a Saturday. So make sure that you're there for that conversation, as we're going to be talking about the new Smash Brothers game and the history of Smash Brothers.
Oh, yes.
Paid?
Wait, is Braden going to be there Saturday?
I am going to be there Saturday based on the
Okay.
topic alone.
Good. I was about to say, can we do this topic without Braden there? It's kind of like required.
Right.
It is required.
Anyway, my own personal plugs. If you've enjoyed to my ripping of Rob Van Dam, you'd like to hear me ripping on other things that go on in the world, you can follow me on all the social media networks that you would find me on by searching the handle MRPADEN. That's Mr. Payton. At this point, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I started a Vine. I know I said that. I'm going to be retracting that statement. Vine sucks. Instagram has video now, so the hell with Vine. You can listen to my show. I also have a wrestling podcast, which I invite y'all to take part in. If you can handle another wrestling podcast. I certainly don't want to drive anyone from here away from Smark Out Moment. We go live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. It's the same time as TNA Impact, because it's the Thursday Night Wars. We're going to be taking that company head to head, and we're going to put them out of business once and for all, because they were supposed to die last week, but they just couldn't take the hint. And it's smartly enough, they're launching their "Don't Watch This at Home" campaign. Which is,
according to kayfabe news.
And also be sure to check out Mega Powers Radio. You may have heard that mentioned a few times. MegaPowersRadio.com. We have lots of cool programming airing almost every night this week now. Every night of the week now. We just debuted a new show this night, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. You can hear Chris Dace hosting the Dace Man Show, where he'll be talking about everything going on in the world. And I mean everything. We really spanned the gamut tonight. On Saturday nights, you can hear I Got Gameplay, hosted by Mr. Burhan there, and you'll often hear many of other people that you hear on the show there. And then also Monday nights after Raw, you'll also hear a bunch of us doing a Raw post show where we'll be recapping all of that night's events. And the cool thing about all these shows is you can call and join the conversation anytime. I'm not going to give you the number, but go to the site, megapowersradio.com, during any of those times, and you'll see the number there to call in. I think I've taken up enough time.
And finally, Dace.
Hey, I had stuff to plug. August 3rd, OTW in Williamstown. Yours truly makes his return to the ring after several months of hiatus. And as well as Mike had mentioned earlier, the Dace Man Show live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Who knows what time I'll be in, but we'll be doing it, and we'll be running down the ranks of all kinds of stuff. Like he said, we hit a whole bunch of topics. We had our first caller. We jumped from Obama to Kanye. Well, specifically black, to gay marriage, all the way to Superman. So join in. It's a lot of fun.
And when it comes to social commentary, check outonlimbs.com for everything that I bitch and complain about on pretty much everything in the world, whether it's politics or just how people suck. Fanboys Anonymous, the main one I really want to hit here. Everybody here writes for Fanboys Anonymous, and the couple focal points that I wanted to bring out here above all, everybody, of course, they're writing articles here and there and all that. Dace is going to be somewhat soon premiering a new segment on the show, which doesn't have a name quite yet, but we'll get there. He's got a new article coming out real soon about the Maxim list. Payton's been posting like a madman, so check out all the stuff that he's been posting. Burhan's got some stuff working out there, and Braden, of course, does. I've got some that I've been knocking out a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
but
yeah, don't worry about those. My posts have boobs. Go there. Go to my post.
So if you guys are interested in all things Fanboys Anonymous related, you guys can check that out, obviously, at www.fanboysanonymous.com. And as I had mentioned before, I'm looking to expand the contributing roster of writers. So if you are interested in becoming a part of the actual writing team of fanboysanonymous.com, then shoot me a message on the contact page there. It's the same as the Smark Out Moment one or whatever. And I'll look into getting you on there. So that'll do us in for episode 86 of Smack Talk. And we will see you next time with whatever you guys decide. It's going to be the specialty post. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out. Adios, everybody.
Dun dun, outro of a kind. Outro of a kind. I got this song inside my mind. It's like it's on rewind. Tells me it's silly time. My ponytail, something I just can't quite describe. So what do you say? Well, there I recycle my promos all the time. Makes you believe I'm the one-dimensional kind. The cringe I leave in the back of your minds. Makes you believe, outro of a kind.